Do. And we are live.
Let's go.
Hey, everybody. We are back. Thanks for coming to the LYF Matters podcast. I am your host, Cameron Rowe. And we have somebody very near and dear and special to me. He is a low-key silent genius who has a way of planting seeds, and then you leave him, and he has a way of like staying on your head and staying in your mind. That's what he did for me, which is why we're working together. So I am introducing. I call him French. You can call him Adam. His name is Adam French, and I'm going to read his LinkedIn profile so I can explain him properly. So Adam, though, is like a designer of systems, brands, business models. He's actually working with me on some of my good stuff that you guys will reap the benefits of. And he's really big on mental health education, which we completely connect in that aspect for, the betterment of ourselves, and then also the personal development and betterment of other people. So no long drawn out introduction. Here's Adam.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you're here. Day's been going good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a good day. A little lower energy, but we're flowing through
Low
it.
energy.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll try to pick that up a little bit.
This weekend was so hectic. Like, I don't know what could pick me up, but we're picked up so far. We were at like a 4. Now we're at a solid 6. So let's see if we can
That's because you knew you were coming to see me.
That's true. I was excited for this. Too bad we can't do it in person, but
I know. I'm a little bummed, but it's okay. We're making do. I rather something is better than nothing. 100%. So we're going to talk a bit about self-love, right? And the topic is, embodying self-love and rituals and behavioral patterns and habits and systems that we create, right, that support our growth. Going into it, what are some practices that you have, and why do you feel they're even important to have?
Yeah, so the one practice, the longest standing practice that I've had is yoga every morning. I like to say it's turned into an addiction because like if I don't do it, my body just feels off the entire day.
Really?
Yeah. It's just like I've gotten accustomed to a different level of being stretched out and having my blood going. So that's like the longest standing practice is just yoga, treating my body to that, treating my mind to that, connecting to myself and connecting my mind and my body. Another thing that I do, it's kind of on and off, but just looking myself in the mirror and saying like, I am love, I am a king, I am prosperity, kind of just going through that list, whatever your list is of things that you're trying to affirm. They really hit different when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, because you have to feel it. And if you don't feel it and you're like, oh, well, shit, I got to say that like I mean it. Can I swear?
I'm lying to myself. Okay? You can swear. Yes.
Okay.
Adults here.
Cool. Yeah, so that's another one. Yeah, like I can't be lying to myself when I'm looking myself in the mirror. And yeah, like saying I love myself when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, it really makes you feel it, or makes you aware that you don't feel it. So that's another thing. Another like probably the most potent is the food I eat, and like really just asking myself every meal, how do I make this an act of self-love? Even if it's, something unhealthy, how do I enjoy it and how do I relish it instead of eating it to distract me or eating it to cope with something or, something like that? Because I've had kind of a relationship with food where I used to eat it just like as entertainment or as like a coping mechanism. And so just realigning my relationship where like I might want something, but if I ask myself, oh, is this like really loving myself to consume this? It's like probably not, like, so I have something different instead. And really food is really for me a powerful act of self-love, and it can also be an act of self-sabotage as well. And that's why choosing to make it an act of self-love it can be really powerful.
I think working out is really good, right? Because
Working out
not
too.
only, I mean, the working out, I mean, you do yoga. I stretch. I try to do yoga when I can. I definitely go for a
Hmm.
walk because I have to get my blood circulating, and that's something that I do. And it really is just, I set these routines and these practices up as yeah, a system of self-care, but also acknowledging that in this moment, in this space, I get to do this, right?
Hmm.
And I say that because when I was having all the surgeries after I got hit by the bus, I couldn't do simple things like go to the bathroom. I
Hmm.
still, like on my own or walk around or go running, like I still don't get to do any weight training, right? I
Mm.
don't get to do weight training right now. So I find an area of gratitude that though I'm not weight training, I get to go for a walk. I get to stretch. My body has loved on itself, and I've done my job by giving it the right food and water and rest, that it has healed itself enough to where I get to do yoga now. I get to do stretches. I get to get up out of my bed and walk around freely around my house. Like I get to do that. And I get to do it pain free. Everything wasn't always pain free.
Mm.
And so that's a way of my mindset is a new way of loving myself for me, trying to keep it in this phase of gratitude as much as possible. Like you, I always think food, you can be, really fucked up, or you could like really pour into yourself.
Hmm.
What you eat, what you consume, alcohol all the time, drinking soda and juice. I mean, pressed juice, that's just different. But like, high C, like so stuff like that, like stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
not, yeah, that's not so good. And it's okay to do things in moderation, but usually what I do is every day I get up in the morning, and that's a routine that I try to be consistent with. And I'll say, what am I going to put in my body that is going to take care of me tomorrow?
Mm. Hmm.
Today and tomorrow. How am I caring for all the organs of my body? And I know it sounds like really crazy, but when you feel constipated, you don't start thinking about your colon until you're like, what did I eat fiber today? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did I not eat fiber today? What did I not put in my body? I feel really dehydrated and definitely not myself when I haven't had enough water. Like when I think about the things that I need and my purpose in life and how I show up for myself, as well as how I show up for other people, it really starts with how well am I taking care of myself? Because I only get one body. And if I fuck it up, I can't enjoy my wealth. I can't
Hmm.
enjoy my relationships. You know what I mean? I can't go out and have, fun and maybe go dancing or maybe go to whatever those things are that I like to do. If I don't take care of my mind, my body, my heart, and everything that goes with it, it's going to affect the day-to-day things that I enjoy, the things that I want to do. And when I can't do the things that I enjoy, they depress me, right? So it's kind of an avalanche of it's important to do these things because dot dot dot. And I actually, you have so many people that define success by wealth or material value and all that other shit. However, a lot of people say, well, your health is wealth, which is true because, you know, my my ability to actually be in the world and live it versus just showing up and surviving it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Is a completely different outlook. And
Yeah.
I create routines every day to make sure that I wake up and I am living the life that I get to live and that I choose to live with as much control as I possibly can. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, That's it, right? Like, it doesn't matter where you are, who you're with, or even what you're doing. If you don't feel good in your body, if you don't feel good in your body, it really doesn't matter where you are, what you have, who you're around. If you're not comfortable inside yourself,
Yeah.
inside of your meat suit, then then nothing else matters. Like, got to take care of the meat suit. Like, I was in the bathroom one time and I was just like, I was dealing with some shit, like some like warts on my feet or something. I was just like, man, like, what the fuck? And I was just like, no, this is your meat suit maintenance. Like, this is what it is. Like, all of this kind of like,
Yeah.
like, I don't want to deal with that. Well, it's like, it's your
Yeah.
maintenance. You got to maintain your uh, physical body if you're going to be love and feel love and be able to spread that to other people. And I love what you said about gratitude as well. That's something that I've been practicing at the end of every yoga practice, just looking inside and allowing that gratitude to spread throughout my body and saying thank you to my body for carrying me through that practice, for allowing me to experience whatever it is that I just chose to experience. If you're drinking alcohol, thank your body for allowing yourself to experience that buzz, because it's fun, right? Like, and so like when you thank your body for these things, you're being aware and you're loving yourself, even if it's like not the best, right? And I'm not saying that you could just thank your body and be like, okay, I'm gonna go eat donuts and drink liquor now,
Mm-hmm.
but like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like obviously
Mm-hmm.
knowing what the limitations are, but when you do get to experience that gratification, like, being in it, not judging yourself for it, being grateful to your body that it's allowing you, it's being a vehicle for you to experience this pleasure, really just kind of doubles down on
Yeah.
whatever you get from that.
Yeah. I mean, another way to look at it too, because, it's all about perception, in my opinion. And I feel like, yes, though you can, have your drinks and thank your body for you being able to have the buzz, you can also thank your body for create a system to where the reason why I can drink is because I take such good care of my liver. And I
Right.
know that it filters, you know what I mean? So you could do things guilt free and you can like create a routine and something for yourself where you can enjoy things in moderation, but you're also able to do it, right?
Yeah.
Because you've set up a routine to keep your system clean. There are really some people who can't drink any alcohol whatsoever because they have
Hmm.
such liver damage or kidney damage or whatever type of damage internally because they lacked the consistency to care for the one body that they get to have.
Hmm.
So with you as the creator of all systems, you're a system creator. Why what made you create the patterns and the systems that you have for your life right now?
Mm.
Like what made you say, you know what, I have to change some things. The patterns that I have, the behavior habits that I have are not conducive to the lifestyle that I want to have, and the
Hmm.
lifestyle that I feel like I deserve to be living. And I have to
Yeah.
change that.
Yeah, it really, for me, it was less of a like one day I woke up and I realized that everything, it wasn't so much that. It was like, so I was blessed enough to have a yoga teacher in high school. So like my high school, there was a yoga class, and I
Mhm.
took that class and I learned and I just experienced it, and I was like, wow, this is just something. I was like, wow, this makes me feel good in a long term sense. Like, I know when I'm doing this, it's like that feeling you get after a workout. Like, oh, this, like, I just made myself feel better tomorrow. Um,
I don't feel
so,
like that.
well, yeah. I mean, after I work out, I'm like, I'm tired, but I feel good. I feel drained in a good way. I feel, like I put my energy into myself.
Mhm.
And like, even like after like people have done like colon cleanses, right? And I'll come back to your question, but like it like is really uncomfortable, like
Mhm.
during and then after they have to fast, which is not comfortable. But it's
Mhm.
like you get past that, and it's like, wow, I did that for my body and I cleaned myself out. So you can kind of be like, that's going to resonate for the next
Yeah.
few months. And it's
I
going to
did
keep
my
us.
colonic. I did like cartwheels. I was like, I feel like 10, 15 pounds lighter.
Yeah, right. Um, so yeah, so like it was really like a iterative process. It was an overtime transformation. There was one like period in my life when I was rapid. I was like a freshman in college and I was working on this app, and the dude I was working on it with was pushing me beyond like what I could do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just started looking for things to make myself more creative, to make myself more productive.
Uh-huh.
Um, and that's where I came across meditation. That's where I came across like more advanced forms of yoga and like breath work. That's where I came across just these little creativity tricks or hacks. And it's really just a process of, okay, I'm gonna try this, and I'm gonna commit to it. That's the important thing. Like I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
try it. Um, one day, but maybe I'm going to commit to doing it once a week for the next 10 to 12 weeks. And once that happens, it's kind of just like, all right, I'm going to show up and do this thing, whether it's the last commitment, which is the the actual execution hasn't been perfect, but I'm trying martial arts. So I was like, I'm going to do one martial arts class a week. And um, after I did it, I was just activated. Like I just felt super activated. And it really helped me get in touch with my power. So it's like, okay, I'm going to add this to the repertoire. I know what it brings me, what state it brings me. So it's just like this process of trying a lot of different things and not being scared to try, or even
Mm-hmm.
when you are scared to try something, because usually most of us are, understanding that fear is a product of the part of yourself you're trying to let go of most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then looking your fear and saying like, hey, like, thanks for your presence, I don't need you anymore, and then going and doing that thing. And then just things that really call to me and really make me feel good and really add power and energy to
Mm-hmm.
me. I kind of let those bubble up over time. I'm pretty intuitive with how things work. I create systems when I need to. But when it comes to like investing in myself, I really allow my intuition and my emotional body to let me know, oh, this made you feel like XYZ. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I want to make that investment every week. So it's really just a process of going and trying as many things I can. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and just allowing the things that I know really resonate with me to become habits and a daily thing. And some things don't become a daily thing because you can't wake up every morning and like do a 2 hour meditation and then go,
Mm-hmm.
like, some people wake up at 4 and
Mm-hmm.
do that, but like for me it's not realistic. So for me it's like, okay, like I could do all these things, but um, what's realistic is doing yoga every morning. So I'm going to do that
Right.
no matter what.
Right. I think the reason why I created the systems that I have and my behavioral habits is also because of discipline. I'm not always, the most disciplined when it comes to certain things. So I have to find ways to, I guess, convince or persuade myself that something is good for me. And
Mm.
how I have those activities. And so it's really the same thing as that, like your current lifestyle, where am I right now? Really take some time to sit. And I had to do that.
Hmm.
And let's say, for example, okay, my son is 19, right? When he turned 18 and he started, going out more and doing even more things on his own and driving and all this other stuff, I had to look at myself and say, you're not necessarily the same caretaker that you used to be. Now, instead of just identifying myself as Christian's mother, I have to really focus on what is Kiana like. What does Kiana want? She doesn't have to get up and make breakfast for anyone in the morning. She doesn't have to run errands to take care of anyone anymore. I'm always working, but I had to kind of rediscover my identity, and
Mm.
what patterns do I need to change? What habits do I need to change, where I just focus on myself? I have more time to focus on myself. And it was really a hard pill to swallow for a moment, because my identity was wrapped around being what other people needed. My
Right.
routines and my systems and, my behavioral habits were all created to be what other people needed and what other people wanted, to be a leader, to be a therapist, to be a mother, to be a friend, to be a daughter, to be all of these things. And I had to take a moment and sit down and just say, what does Kiana's life look like for herself? You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? If I have to focus just on myself, I have all this free time to focus on myself. And I didn't realize I actually should have done more of that, while being, a mom and all these other things. But,
Mm-hmm.
that's hindsight 2020. But now I'm looking at it like, well, what can I do today?
Right.
Right. And it's, well, what are the things that I enjoy? What about life feels successful for me? What does pleasure look like for me? Um, and how do I go and get that every day? Because it can't just be getting up and working a job, because even though it's a job and it's a career and I love it and I'm passionate about it, there is a lot more to me than that. So assessing, all of those things and creating these new habits. I like to go out for a walk. I usually feel good after doing that. I like meal prepping, to be honest. I actually like cooking more, especially when you don't have a picky eater at home, you know? So I started saying, okay, these are the things that I like. And another thing is, I started saying no more often to extending my free time, and allowing all of my free time to be, taken up by other people who want access to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So it may not seem like it's a normal thing to do, but a part of my routine is being comfortable saying no, being comfortable, in stillness, taking time every day to just sit in some stillness, taking time every day. I mean, and I don't want to just push the agenda of practicing gratitude all the time, even though I think it's
Why
valuable and
not? Why not push it?
it's very important. But I don't want to push it with you. I don't want to push it just for the surface. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're grateful for life, you're grateful for friends, you're grateful for all of that. But to really sit and think about the small things that you appreciate. I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate the ability to work a job that I enjoy, that in turn pays me to travel, to go out to eat, to buy clothes that I like, to get my hair done, to pamper myself. Like, I appreciate the ability to get up and have a body that can work for me, because your body works for you. You know, I appreciate those little things. I appreciate nothingness sometimes, and just I don't have to do anything, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I used to always try to fill my day up with something, and it would actually
Right.
stress me out, right?
Yeah.
But then when you start appreciating, no, I don't have to add anything extra on my plate today. Part of my routine is just sitting in the stillness, allowing myself to do nothing, allowing
Yep.
myself to just read. Maybe I want to binge watch something, and being okay with that, not shaming myself. That's also a part of, you know, the things that I consistently do.
Yeah.
Catch myself when I shame myself,
Mm.
for enjoying the things I'm supposed to be able to enjoy, because life doesn't have to be hard. It shouldn't be hard. Work doesn't have to be hard. All of these, like, it's the mindset around all of these things which hinder your ability to create patterns that support the better version of you, the more authentic version of you, the healthier version of you. Does that does that make sense? Have you ever thought, the better version of me wants to do these things a whole lot more, but for some reason I can't get consistent with it because I'm so stuck on my old behavioral habits and patterns and mindset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's where like the mantras and like looking at myself in the mirror saying, I am this, I am this, I am a king, I am prosperity, because that puts me in a mindset where everything I do is judged on that standard. So it's, it's about building up the intuition where what does it feel like to be joyful? What does it feel like to be powerful? What does it feel like to be whatever you are trying to be and whatever your best self wants to be? What,
Mm-hmm.
once you ask yourself that every morning, every night, and just sit in that state, right, of feeling
Mm-hmm.
what it's like, now, like when you move through your day, you'll, you can ask yourself like, oh, what would this version of me do in this moment? Or would this version of me do this? If you're like double, oh wait, would this the best version of me do this right now? And if it says no, then you have to respect it. That's when the hard part comes, and like actually having to act and make the choice to be your higher self, which usually means making sacrifices that aren't always easy. Life
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be hard. But I think that in this current world where it is, we're all
Mm-hmm.
exposed to trauma at some point in our
Mm-hmm.
lives. And
Mm-hmm.
working through that and transmuting it into from a source of pain to a source of power is hard work. That is essentially that process of transmutation and working through it is hard work. But that work can be where it is, and then you can
Mm-hmm.
surround the rest of your life to be filling you up with love and joy, so you can do that work with presence instead of running away from it or not being present for it, and
Mm-hmm.
which comes and gets you on the back end. So
Yeah.
it's
So is it hard or is it challenging? I'm always trying to, reword things. Is
both. I
it
don't know.
really hard? Does it have to be hard or can it be challenging? I have to challenge myself to do something different than what I normally do in order to get a completely different outcome that supports my higher self.
I think it can be both. For me, it's
Mm-hmm.
like I've gotten to a point where I actually enjoy like crying. Like I enjoy that release of emotion because I never allowed myself to enjoy it because, it was like, oh, I'm weak, or oh, like I'm super sad. And now it's like, yeah, I'm super sad, but I'm taking this space to acknowledge and feel and channel that sadness, and
Mm-hmm.
and I can be present with that and
Mm-hmm.
not enjoy it but appreciate it, because I know that it's creating space. It's removing these negative emotions and it's creating space for more positive ones to take root. Um, so I think yeah, it could be both, honestly, but it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be suffering. It does not have to be suffer. It does not have to be
That
something you suffer through.
that I feel like suffering is a choice, and you don't have to suffer through anything. I think standing still with no desire to move forward, with no desire to change, with no desire for growth can be considered long suffering. And you don't
Absolutely.
have to, because healing can happen to anybody, and whether it goes in stages and phases, you don't remain stagnant, which is what brings on the suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, a huge part of loving myself is taking some time and saying, what areas of my life, since we're saying suffering, what areas of my life is suffering? What area of my life can I actively participate in changing for joy?
Mm.
Right? Because we all have, like, okay, so just like looking at what you're saying with staring yourself in the mirror and saying what you need to say. I have done that sometimes. And I'm like, bitch, yeah, mm, do you believe you right now? And then I'm
Right.
talking to, because, we have these like staff meetings in our head, and it's like, no, you don't believe what you say. But how do I believe what I say? Well, I don't know. You need to figure it out. Like, just, these little things. And you're going back and forth with yourself in the mirror. Trying to convince yourself or persuade yourself, no, I feel this. I really feel this. I can't move forward without my day if I don't feel it. But if you don't feel it, the key thing I think is, look at, for me, what I do is, if I really want to be happy and if I really want to feel satisfied, right? If I really want to feel joyful and loved, um, when was the last time I felt like that? And what does that feel like? And how can I, repeat that? Is it something that I gave myself? Is it something I waited for someone else to give me? And then look at myself and say, you can give yourself love today because you're
Mm,
loving.
yeah.
You can give yourself compassion today and kindness today because you're deserving, and this is how. This is what you like. This is what you enjoy for
Yeah.
today. Yeah, we have to do these things, right? These things that we get to do, right? That I appreciate that I get to do. And in doing that, how do I find this result of feeling fulfilled and purposeful and happy and whole, and it doesn't have to be like this whole bucket of joy. I mean, I feel like, we can give ourselves some spoonfuls a day, and that's okay. You can give yourself, a teacup for the day of joy and all the things that you like. Um, but if you don't set the tone, especially first thing in the morning, I
Hmm.
always say first thing in the morning, it just really like sets your whole day. You set the tone in the morning of, I'm going to say these things to myself. You know, when you have kids or if you're in a relationship or whatever the case may be, the first part of the morning, that should be your quiet time, your stillness time. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna set the tone for my day, and
Yep.
I'm capable of handling whatever may come my way today. I will
Yeah.
look at this as, today I am going to experience the world, and I'm also going to allow people to experience me. And this is what an experience of me is going to look like: loving. They're going to experience kindness and patience and gratitude and all these other things.
Hmm.
And then what you do is you make the steps as you need to forward to put that in motion.
Hmm.
The feeling confirmed through your actions
Yeah.
all day,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. It's like I like to look at the morning time as like the self-programming part of the day because
Mm-hmm.
we had literally all these people and things and entities trying to program us with different stories, the media and advertising. Um,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
it's crazy, so the morning is when we have the opportunity to sit down and tell ourselves, this is how I'm going to feel, this is how I'm going to identify. And then as you said, it's bringing that into practice. You crystallize the feeling early in the morning when you
Mm-hmm.
have that alone time.
Mm-hmm.
um, and then when you're going throughout your day, you can use your actions to reflect on, is this creating this feeling? Is this embodying this feeling? Is this embodying this person that I want to be? And if it's not, then you can, that's okay sometimes. Like it's okay to just be aware of it and stay present or leave because, okay, now I know I don't need to be in this conversation, this place. If you're eating something, like, yeah, you can put it away, you don't have to finish it, like, or you can throw it
Mm-hmm.
away. I've done that
Mm-hmm.
before. Like, whatever you're doing, if you're like, oh yeah, this doesn't align with that person, like, okay, now like, go and change your behavior, or whatever you do, hold yourself in a space of love, because that's what we're all deserving in. No matter how well our day went, no matter how much we got done,
Mm-hmm.
you are deserving of love from yourself, and you always will be. So that's kind of just going back to that truth. It's nice for me because I can be very self-critical, and be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, I didn't get everything done I wanted to today. And it's like, all right, that's fine, but you still deserve love, and you can still love yourself, because that's who you are by being. And that's something that I need to come back to, and it really helps. It takes all these perceived burdens off of my shoulders. It's like, oh, okay,
Mm-hmm.
I always have a place of love that I can retreat to, no matter what.
I think that's really good. I always tell myself, I have a right to be loved, and I was worthy upon arrival. It's not something that I don't have to earn it. I'm deserving of it just because I'm here.
Yep.
I'm worthy of it just because, I was created to love and to be loved. And out of that love is an act of service. And how I serve people is a part of my gift and what I have to offer. And you don't just have one, you can have, a plethora of those. And because, you can start the day as I already won the day in the morning because I forgave myself for yesterday. And because I'm living in the now, I won my day and I became successful for today because the first person that I serviced was myself.
Mm-hmm.
By waking up, loving on me, and speaking wellness into my life. Right. So I already that's like within the first 5 minutes, I'm successful because I started that. You can wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is just say, oh, my life is fucked up, or this is horrible, and just think of a bunch of negative things, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's easy. And I'm saying that out of experience of somebody who, I got hit by a bus. I had like 13 surgeries. I beat cancer. I had, quite a few deaths for people that were my grandparents, and just things this year. And sometimes you wake up and you're like, I don't feel like that shit. But like I said, it's a challenge, but it's still a choice. And I'm going to choose to not suffer this morning. I'm going to feel what I feel
Mm-hmm.
because my feelings are valid about whatever it is that I'm going through. Because like you said, in this day and age, like in the world we're living in right now, everyone is traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is going through something. But with all of that, I'm still capable of giving myself 5 minutes of my own time for my own love, for my own service, for my own wellness. This is a part of the practice that is not up for discussion. It is not up
Mm-hmm.
for compromise, right? This is not something I'm willing to sacrifice. And I started my day within the first 5 minutes winning it for me.
Mm-hmm.
And making it about me and filling me as much as I need to fill so that there's enough to overspill onto everybody else that is going to experience me today.
Mm.
And
100%.
I think that with just on this topic of creating these rituals, like I said, it's subjective to, what success looks like for you, and how to set your day. Only you know that. But like I said, we're all going through something, but it's so, so, so important to create patterns that support growth, that support your mental health, like get into your subconscious mind and plant those seeds. And subconsciously you won't recognize it, until later, and you're still kind of saying those little things to yourself. That's the reason why in the journal that I created, I put those affirmations every week so that you can create a pattern of saying them every day.
Mm.
And now, you don't memorize them. So you have something to counter a negative thought when it decides to kind of pop into your head. And starting your day off that way, like I said, it sets the tone for your day. Doing that every day, you can create new habits, and then you can create new lifestyles. And I think I would fall apart without them. I need to
Yeah.
be more consistent, right? Every day I write a to-do list.
Hmm.
Every day I write a to-do list. Like after I get up and like I said, set the tone for the day, I write my to-do list. But another thing that I do, which somewhere is just like I never thought of doing that, which is I have my column for my to-do list, but I also have another column for my accomplishments.
Mm.
Because if you're only thinking about all the things you have to do, you have to create an accomplishment list so that you can praise yourself for the things that you have done. And we don't do
Hmm.
that enough,
No.
right? That builds your self-esteem. It's just like, you know what, today was not a wasteful day. I actually did get some things done. And I can wipe those off of today's to-do list. Whatever is left it can be handled for tomorrow. But I was successful today because you wrote all of it down, right?
Yeah.
That's a habit that I have. I
I
have
love
to I
that.
have to celebrate myself. Yeah.
I need to do that more and
Do
more.
it. Do it. Like when you write your to-do list, create another line or create a line right under it and and do the accomplishments. Usually what I do is, cross the line out once I have it done, but then I will rewrite it in the other section. I did this,
Hmm.
and that. Because sometimes you can have something on your to-do list and it's done a completely different way. But
Yeah.
that's something that could really, really help you start celebrating yourself a whole lot more and not beat yourself up and even pat yourself on the back. The world seems like it's falling apart, but I was still able to get this, and this done. And I showed up in someone's life and I fed me today. I took my vitamins today. I drank this much water
Hmm.
today. I did like all those things. I exercised. I was of service to somebody else. I got some of my errands done, whatever that may be. So, you know,
Love that.
but that is, basically, what I want to leave people with today. So for like, give me your final thought and what you could tell other people about creating, patterns and systems that were helpful, to you and why they're important to you.
Yeah, I would say try a lot of stuff. Try a lot of stuff, have fun in the process, and allow the things that resonate most with you to be the things that you carry on and do as habits. Your body, your mind, and your spirit are going to tell you when you come across something that resonates with you. So pay attention and stay aware for what that thing is, and keep yourself, keep that consistency, and it'll turn into a space where you're doing it on automatic. Like I do yoga I have never put that on my to-do list. So, it becomes automatic after you condition yourself to a new way of being. And just understand, like, hold yourself in love through the whole process. No one's perfect.
Mm,
Even if you miss it, even if you don't do it, you can still love yourself and say, it's okay. I still love you. I am still worthy of infinite love because I am.
I love that. I'm gonna end it on that. Ending it on that. That's like the best thing ever. Because we always say, you have to hold yourself accountable. But I like that, hold yourself in love.
Yeah. You can do that while holding yourself accountable. Like you can hold yourself accountable, be like, okay, I didn't do this. I could have done it, to embody love more powerfully in my life, but I love myself anyways.
I love that. Okay, tell people where to find you if they
Uh,
want to follow you and keep track of you.
yeah, so you can find me on LinkedIn, Adam French. I have a colorful background in my photo. That should be the first one that shows up. If I'm not, I'm gonna have to talk to LinkedIn. Um, and then Instagram and Twitter, you can find me at A Freezy French. I have music out on all platforms. You can find me as A Freezy on all music platforms, where I rap about consciousness, love, and whatever's on my mind.
That's awesome. Thank you, French, for popping on today and giving us your perspective and some great, great gems and nuggets that I definitely will take into my daily practice, like for sure.
Dope.
So,
Yeah,
all right.
happy to
So
be.
huh?
I said happy to be here.
I know. This is so much fun. It's always very conversation. It's very much so like a regular conversation that other people get to sit in. So I hope that everyone was able to take some good information and some good nuggets and, some practices that you can use and hold yourself in a space of compassion and love while you're making these changes, these changes that are hard or these changes that are challenging. And do it with compassion. You guys know where to follow me. You can always rewatch this later. It'll be on YouTube. It'll be on all little areas where you stream. It'll also be on the website. And sign up for the newsletter if you haven't, because, we'll be giving tips and nuggets in there too. So until next time, guys, don't forget that you matter, life matters globally. Bye.